Okay. All right, everybody, let's just settle into our meditation posture. We did this thing in yoga today. You know, when you settle into something and you just kind of wriggle around a bit. So just allow yourself to wriggle around a bit and get settled. It's just kind of like even little kids, even cats. You notice your cat when they settle down, they just kind of go like this. So you can just kind of have a little bit of a wriggle, get settled, and then you'll be still because you'll be comfortable. So you can have your feet, if they're flat on the floor, you could have them under a little cushion, or maybe if they're directly on the floor, that's okay, but keep them parallel and about a hip's width apart. And particularly if you're sitting in the cross-legged position, you want to have your sits bones raised, so you're not leaning back on your sacrum in any way. So you're sort of sitting right on top of your sits bones, and then the shoulders are aligned with your hips. And you imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And so try and put some space in between your vertebrae. Just getting a little bit longer as the top of your head reaches towards the ceiling. And then from the very top of the head, you can just imagine perhaps you're drawing an arc with a crayon that's tied to the top of your head. And you tip your head forward. So it's more like an up, around, and down. And just hinging from the top of the neck there. Excuse me. When your eyes are down, they're looking along the length of the nose to a spot a couple of inches ahead if they were open. Michael, I think you're unmuted. And then just relax the jaw, bring your mind to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead and the eyes, the nose, the face. The mouth. Bring your attention to the jaw. Just release any tension there. And then bring your attention to the back of the head and particularly at the occipital bone. Just release tension there. Base of the skull. Then your ears and the inner ear. Back of the tongue and the jaw again. Then relax the back of the neck and the shoulders. Allow the shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat, the chest, the belly, and all of your limbs and the extremities, your hands and fingers, feet and toes. And bring the mind to the breath and just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. And then notice if there are any sounds in your environment, just allow those sounds to be there. So try not to follow them with the mind, just allow them. And then notice what's arising in your mind. What thoughts? And try and put some space in between them. Trying not to follow a story. And trying not to judge what's there. So however it is you're showing up this evening, just to know it's okay. It's totally fine. It's just where you're at right now. Nothing more, nothing less. And just imagine your scientist looking at your mind with a level of interest and curiosity, objectivity. So you're not judging what's there, you're just curious. And you're seeing what's there. So it's much better to see what's going on in the mind than it is to be kind of surprised by it later on down the track. So just observe, don't judge. So in a similar way, we put ourselves on the bank of our river and we just watch that river flow on by. And you'll notice some days the river's flowing really slowly and calmly, and other days it's choppy, and other days it's flowing really fast, and there's eddies and whirlpools and bits of debris. But while you're sitting on the bank of that river and you're watching it, you're free from the river. You're not getting caught up. You're not swept away. You're safe. So let's just bring to mind the people of our life and notice with curiosity if anybody's changed, jumped from one group to the next. So your loved ones, these ones that we hold very dear to our heart, who are so precious to us. We think of them as a gift almost. And then there's those who are a little difficult for us. Maybe they're just a pain in the neck, or maybe just they're actually quite toxic. And then there's this complete strangers. Knowing that they could change place at any time, trying not to take those ones we love so dearly for granted, expecting them always to be there for us. And then remembering that we're all equal, actually. We're all equal in this wish to be happy, the wish to be free from suffering, and in having this extraordinary capacity for an enlightened mind. So we'll be doing this meditation this evening for all these people of our life. And I have some names here from a friend. Of course, there's Jim, who was injured in Hawaii. He's now on his way back here to California, and he's doing a lot better. And then there's David Maloney, who passed away, David Lipschitz, and Dan Connolly. So we just think of them this evening. Dedicate for them. So just remembering there is no negativity that you cannot purify. So, so you just think how amazing that is actually. Actually, I've probably done all these things in this life, but I can do something about it. And it doesn't have to hang around like a bad smell. I can actually purify it. And I don't need anyone to forgive me. I just need to do the work myself. So it's kind of empowering when you start to think like that. Oh yeah, I can do this. So just think. We start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being in this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think specifically of actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, just regret all. And the reason we're regretting is based on this logic of karma. And given that we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, having harmed others, we're going to necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear this thought. I mean, we're already having enough suffering. We don't really want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove those karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret the anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And think, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we turn to the doctor, the Buddha, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha to forgive us. We're not looking for some kind of higher power to come along and just, say, okay, you're absolved of all your sins kind of thing. We're doing the work here. So we're just using these methods, just like medicine. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher, if you wish, manifesting in this male Buddha form for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. Has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth and his hair is black and held up in a top knot. And he's wearing these silken robes and the Royal Indian style and jewelry all over his body. He's got this beautiful aura of light around his head and his body. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell, which represents wisdom. And the right is holding a Vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So just a little bit on developing compassion, this wish for people to be free from suffering. So we need to rely upon other beings. So this is part of reliance. So we think about the people that we have harmed and develop compassion for them and the people who've harmed us, particularly because the harm that they've caused us will manifest as suffering for them in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these people in our life, and think, I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification and visualization and mantra. So we start with the purification of the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. You can also imagine maybe a shower head, Niagara Falls, your favorite waterfall, wherever you are. And imagine this just arcs around this nectar, and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa, Sutokaya Miboa, Sipokaya Miboa, Anarakta Miboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe, Ambajasapa Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dino Patita, Dida Miboa, Sutokaya Miboa, Sipokaya Miboa, Anarakta Miboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe, Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Miboa, Sutokaya Miboa, Sipokaya Miboa, Anarakta Miboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe, Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Miboa, Sutokaya Miboa, Sipokaya Miboa, Anarakta Miboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe. So be delighted that any harm you've done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So they see you, they smell you, they sense you, benefits their mind. So next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva now very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine that all your gossip, harsh speech, useless speech, lying, talking badly about others behind their back, getting other people to agree with you, all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Sipokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. So the moment they hear your sweet voice, excuse me, it benefits their mind. And imagine that every syllable that falls out of your mouth is a benefit to somebody, including yourself, because you'll be hearing it. And the next is a purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on the light switch and you dispel the darkness with that light. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your unhappiness, depression, attachment, grasping, neediness, anxieties, and judgments and criticisms and jealousy and bitterness and disappointments, all of this instantly dispelled by this light as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, all of our individual delusions are the source of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech. So imagine they're all completely purified, finished. And now imagine there's no space in your heart for anything other than just love and kindness and compassion and wisdom and creativity and expansion. So next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And imagine Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa, Sudokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe, and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sudokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me, Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe, Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe, Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahumpe. So now feel completely purified and not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed to your enlightenment. So next is the power of resolve, and a really crucial step in this purification process is when we make a determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. So without this decision, we're just going to keep doing the same old things. And particularly, I think for most of us, it's more probably about negative self-talk than it is about and about our speech than it is about actually physically harming anyone. So it's probably the thing we need to keep an eye on. So rather than using our speech as a tool for harming or just being careless with it, just think about using your speech only as a tool for healing yourself and others, making others happy with your speech. And gradually over time, it'll start to change. So think of something that you would like to work on between now and tomorrow morning, or tomorrow afternoon, evening. And just focus on that for the next, 24 hours. And give yourself an easy timeline. And Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And you think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. They've merged. So then just thinking a little bit about emptiness, you can think in emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, just place your mind there for a little while. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that perhaps the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, and to yourselves, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, O tup shul chang shin jam gan Galloway, Tenzing kyong pelaway kunzo dog porze, jog sum kur away leg mon to droop. Dog sog dulaje gondu jab tin shuk. And Palama Ursel Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please, please live long, and because you share a beloved teacher leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path. You are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay, everybody, lots of love. Thank you so much. So nice to see you all. Hello, Black Cat. Thank you for hosting. Thank you, Maria. Okay. Thanks, Michael. Oh, you were hosting, right? And Shayla. Thanks, you guys. And Mary.